Hasi. 2-2 on it compared to 1-1, but we would get there once we touch down on map number 3. We're going to start off with the hard point on Hasi and Hacienda Sandwich. But this one's going to be a fun one, Alan, because we've seen Cloud9 play it a couple times. They had some great series. They did a great job versus Vancouver on this map to force that game number 5. But Boston, they are also no slouches on this map either, so this is going to be a square up.
Yeah, Boston's played it every single series so far this Major 2 qualifiers. They're putting in the work, and it's paid off to this point. Only a 2-point loss to LAG, and that was in a near dramatic comeback fashion. So, see how things unfold. Both of these two squads have definitely utilized this map in the past, but the average margin of victory for both teams has been about 20 points. So expect a barn burner here, although Cloud9 are off very quickly for first 4 kills going their way.
That is the perfect start to Hasi. You're not spawning on the preferred side for that P2 rotation. You find the initial kill, and now you have found every single kill after that. Finally, Awakening's able to put one on the board, but Boston now forced to cut their losses. They get a couple players to spawn over towards well. Gonna think about that rotation early, but 30 seconds, maybe more, off of P1's a great start for C9.
Yeah, 4-0 start for Kremp. Sib trying to sneak into P2, but he has been figured out, so it'll have to just be the remaining about 5 or 6 seconds that Cloud9 will have to resort to on P1. Now looking for their break over to P2. Good opener from Snoopy. Gets a read that the hit is largely on the way through well. Follow-up from Awakening is good, and Cloud9 are still trying to find some sort of influence, whether it be on the spawns or the hard point. Neither's going well so far.
Yeah, because those close spawns are still coming in for Boston. So they're able to reinforce their way right through driveway. 2-for-1 trade, 3-for-2 trade. Last player standing is going to be Kremp. He miraculously is able to catch a double. And he gives now his teammates opportunity to flood their way through the front door. Not the situation you want to be if you're Boston. You thought this was going to be a full hold.
Patch off the pinch. That'll work out nicely with Sib to really congest the last bit of this hit from Boston. Split spawn situation still coming through for the breach, though. Cammy has not been figured out on this long route, but he's got to get here quickly as Sib is cleaning things up from the front. And there's Cammy finally into the picture. That'll be good for the scrap time, but all things told, a very successful hard point for Cloud9.
Now you only have one player off the rotation, so what can Attach get done? He already was able to sneak by Awakening. Not able to spot him on the cross in towards 10. That's freebie number 1. Still going to get those close ones in towards the back, but Cloud9 now winning a rotation over towards New. Just want to make sure they're dominating over towards top side. Want to make sure you put players in towards top plat and try to secure these spawns. Now with Sib spawning towards the backside, you know, all the pressure's from the front.
Yep, that will work out for Boston. Snoopy try to follow up to hold on to the high ground towards office, not going to work. So now Cloud9 get the setup on their break attempt. 30 seconds to fight. Awakening backside 10. Good first. More still on the way. Tough gun fight here as Sib and Attach will combine for a little 2v3 between them. Again, this has just been so smooth from Cloud9 late on the rotation, but they get their setup, they get their break, and now we're fighting for the last 15.
And it's a big 15 at that, because you still have Boston committing very hard to try to find this last remaining junk time. And if you're Cloud9, you're already thinking about that rotation. Awakening, able to catch a double for that final 10. Kremp is going to die in a very crucial position because now there's Boston players all around him.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Attach, nice double, create some space between him and Snoopy. Oh, ring around the rosy. A couple of shots come through. Attach almost able to get the collide onto Awakening, who turns that into a double of his own. Mac trying to follow up with Kremp, and they will re-break the hard point quickly for Cloud9.
And now they're able to stabilize. Clean for dead. You know where your teammates just spawn over towards Bo. Everyone starts to turn around. You can lock them in towards the backside of Lambo. Blow this game wide open. You do have a water route, though, on the cards here for Purge. Seems like Cloud9 are not going to be aware of it. Purge is the playmaker.
Yep, and he's going to be able to find the opener. Now in for the contest. Back and forth, pitch, sharp to kill feed. Snoopy last one up, but Sib has the final word again. It has been a great beginning here for Sib. He talked to him a lot about how he's kind of found his spark and what that has really allowed this Cloud9 team to do. They look like a brand new squad here in Major 2 quals.
Yeah, they're in sync, man. They have figured out their recipe for success, and that's just having Attach obviously play more of the objective role. Everyone has to fill it at certain points, but you're just allowing your slayers to slay. Mac is able to line up 3 in a row. Control spawns on the backside, and this score just continues to get worse. The thing is about Boston, though, with their hardpoint game, I know they're sitting top 4 overall, but a majority of their success is usually coming through breaking. You can't break versus some of these teams, and it's already shown.
Yeah, and you've got a really menacing stat line for Purge. Just 3 and 15, can't get anything going. Mac, long spree, finally put to rest, but they are absolutely cooking. Purge trying to follow up, but it is a massive lead for Cloud9 as we jump to a New York. Listen in.
Purge is last guy.
They're open. They're close.
He's close.
Give me a purge.
I'm pushing the back. He's going through. He's in top bottle. He's in top bottle.
I'm with you.
Watch out now. Dead. In the back purge. Get the new. They're already in the back. Okay, just play tight.
I'm in the back.
I spawned in the. I'll push the guy back. Push the guy in the back again. I'm manning back. You gonna challenge?
Yeah, I'll get spawner. Watch out first.
I'm gonna kill him. Watch out. 200 back.
200
front.
I spawned out deepest smoke.
Wait, Zach. Zero times, all good. I'm gonna live in lobby. I'll go water. I'll go. No, already went. It's fun. Honestly, I'm going back up. Top left. He's top left. I'm killing him. I'll expect you guys water. I'll stay back for you. Wait, now close fight. Stay left, long catch. Time gaming. He pushed me at Zig. What's up front limbo? What's up front?
I'll tell him up time. Zig weak. On time, dead. Inside of Zig.
Push up front dead.
I'll see you in the back. Close.
I'm my Zig.
I'm reloading.
All in the back.
Every Zig is well.
I'm pitching for all lobby. I'm in the back there. Two one back.
I'm gonna drive.
Averaging now.
Watch out for you. The back. That's nice.
I'm in the back.
Cammy first shot.
Spawn front.
I spawned well.
You and you, Dante.
Heard you.
I got you.
Open.
I'll see money. I'm saying how weak. Shut front.
Let's go well. I'm missing one.
Awakening's in the back now. He's gonna be L or something.
Alright.
You want to the back?
I'm here with you.
You want to?
Let's go office.
I want me awakening dead.
Nice.
I'm
Get him one time.
Just get bang time. Nothing barrel.
Two secret.
I'll get Ivy. That'll be Ivy.
I'm trying Ivy. Cannon weak. You want to
Wells weak.
Fire.
Alright, big kills. You can pinch. I'm pitching. I'm going
I'm waiting for you guys. I'm waiting for you guys.
Nate combo.
You back to front. Go across. I don't want time. Ivy gets front, okay? I'm pitching cat now. One minute open.
Someone front of Ivy.
Let's go.
They spawned in the back.
I'm watching you. Spawn well.
No shortage of passion in those comms there, Jay. Cloud9 continuing to grow in their lead, about 80 points to the good, and look at the setup going over towards new.
Man, they're just early off of every single rotation. We're talking about when they need to find breaks, they're getting it. They started off at that P2. You win the rotation over towards new, keep it scrappy. Now here at P4, which tends to be a money hill. How long can they hold this for? It's already 3 dead. Last player contesting a clean 4. You know your teammate spawns over towards Lambo. Everybody eyeing up towards Boathouse.
Yeah, this has just been playing from behind the 8 ball for Boston for what feels like 3-4 hard points in a row. Just not quite able to get any rotational wins, and then Cloud9 are just putting on a masterclass in terms of spawn manipulation. Mac off the pinch. A little back and forth inside the hard point. Mac coming back to the play. Stray nade from Attach takes him out of the picture, but Attach also finds the final kill. And with 20 seconds remaining, Cloud9 can obviously well-handedly put this game out of reach.
Yeah, this game is just getting nasty. Boston haven't found a step to stand on yet. A clean 4 dead lead, so only 15 seconds remaining there at P4. It needs to be this P1 into the P2 for them to get back into the game. An 100-point difference is going to allow Cloud9 to start to develop on some of these long routes. They know they have time to make some plays. But you also just don't want to allow them to get kills and then sit in that time.
Yeah, Sib is just ripping apart this Boston squad. Doesn't matter what weapon he has. 27 and 15. In a little bit of trouble here. And will not be able to slip away from Awakening, but he does create time for Cloud9 to get onto the hard point and get close to that 250-point mark. Cramp up top, nice little snap down low, but doesn't make a difference as Boston just have so many numbers. They will get back into the time.
Yeah, they need this all of this time. They just need to play it patient though, because you know Cloud9 are going to start to play a little bit safe. They don't want to flip this map and lose the rotation over towards new. Just need someone to open up with a double kill. Potentially start to be aggressive, but Mac and Sid already combined for 2. They have already top mid presence. They don't want to allow them to give up this time for free. But still in the map control is Cloud9 for that next hard point.
Yeah, there's a big kill right there from Sid as well. Allows Cloud9 to focus purely on rotation. Look at Sid, number 3 in blue. Already on the pinch from around the back, and he will find the kill to shut down the Boston break attempt to P2. 20 seconds remain before Cloud9 can put this first map to bed. And with a couple of stray eliminations happening down towards well side, this Boston team just looks really out of sync when they don't have a rotational win.
Yeah, and that's tough, man, because you rely heavily, usually on your breaking to get into some of these hard points. But on a map like Hacienda, they're just going to make you pay for it with better setups. Cloud9 dominant in map number 1.
Yeah, it really was one of those situations where, I mean, you kind of mentioned it, where with Boston's Hardpoint, a lot of their success coming by way of their break attempts, but a map like Hacienda with players who know what they're doing on the macro side of manipulating spawns and continuing to keep the map kind of in their favor, keep the map in front of you. It just never really allowed Boston to get anything going. I mean, Purge had a slow start, that's for sure, but I mean, there really wasn't a rotational win for Boston anywhere in that second half of the map.
And the thing is, we keep talking about their rotations. They couldn't win a couple. It's just like the way that they were approaching their breaks as well, Alan, didn't really make sense to me. As soon as we jump into that listening, and it's Cloud9, just non-stop energy into that P2 HP. Boston were the team initially in there. They found 3 kills. They knew that there was 1 player left alive, but Kremp just did such a great job of staying alive through side door, forcing Boston to consistently try to think about him. He stalls enough time for his teammates to eventually approach from the front. They find a break. Civ walks his way, actually swims his way through that water side, and is able to catch a double. But then the re-break opportunity for Boston, you're getting those close well spawns. They decide to 4-hit driveway. That's the thing that doesn't make sense to me, because there's only 30 seconds left on P2. 4-hitting driveway, if you don't get those kills, you're still going to spawn on that side of the map for that next hard point. So it just looked like Boston weren't really in sync of how they wanted to execute these proper breaks here, but that's just not how you're going to be able to do it when Cloud9 are just simply outclassing you in the fundamentals.
Clean stuff from Cloud9. It continues to trend in their direction. The only stumble that they've had so far, really since Madrid, was that series versus Vancouver. Just obviously kind of blown out of map number 5 there. They lost that 6-1, but outside of that, I mean, everything seems like it's really starting to click for Cloud9, and maybe all it was if Sip said it himself, he just needed to learn how to shoot straight again. But I don't think it's just that. It's just the way they're playing around the combination of Kremp and Mac just looks a lot more, I would say, like intentional. It just felt like so many times in the beginning of this Cloud9 season, it was a lot of trying to do the right things on rotation, but the SMGs were nowhere to be found around what Attach and Sib were trying to do. But now it looks like they're on the same page, and yeah, this has been really fun to watch if you're a Cloud9 fan.
Hey, you can just tell by the entire map 1. We're early off the rotations to all of these money hills. You had Boston still contesting at the end of P3 with about 20 seconds left. Attach said, okay, you guys can have that. You can take that final 15 to 20 seconds. I'm going to go to the money hill at P4 and set up properly, nice and early. And he was able to soak up almost 3 minutes in hill time. So Attach played that objective. The game gets a lot easier for everybody else.
Indeed the case. So now we take our focus to the Vault, Search and Destroy. It has not been a map with a lot of success for Cloud9. They played it a lot through the Major 1 qualifiers. They only won it a single time, and that came in week number 1. For Boston, they've barely played it at all up until last week, where they were able to find a win versus LAG. So some question marks here, I think, for both these two teams in terms of what we're going to get on this map number 2.
Yeah, I think obviously on the side of Boston, you only played it 1 time versus LAG. You were able to walk away victorious in a 6-4 fashion. A lot of that being due to the dominance that you were able to show on your defensive side. Basically 100% every single time they needed to retake one of those bomb plants, they found it. Attacks is what they need to work on, and that's the same thing that Cloud9 needs to fix on their Vault, Search and Destroy. We're talking about being dead last in first bloods on your attacking rounds, which isn't pretty good, because you know a lot of that is going to be usually in the first 5 to 10 seconds in towards that A site with your SMGs. But then even when they get the bomb planted, or even when they find the first kill, their post-plant situations aren't really the best. When they plant third most on the map, Alan, that means you have a lot of reps. You're getting the bomb down a majority of the times, but every single setup that you have tried to throw at them are easily getting broken into. So what kind of adjustments Cloud9 have made so far in their Vault S&D, we're gonna have to wait and find out.
Yeah, you can actually extend that conversation point to the Search Destroy at large for Cloud9. I mean, just on active maps, they're 4th in overall plant percentage, but they're 11th in the league at post-plant win percentage, so the objective focus has not necessarily been there. The odd thing is, though, at the other side of things, they actually let the bomb get planted the most in the league, but they're in the top half in terms of being able to successfully retake. So there's a level of, again, you know, 6 of one, half a dozen of another, where you're getting the bomb down a lot, not being able to successfully hold it, allowing the bomb to get down a lot, but being able to successfully retake it. So a level of, I think, focus needed on these post plants, especially considering that we are expecting the bomb to be planted pretty often on Vault Search.
Yeah, this is usually what the map turns into. Head bashing towards the A site. Let's get the bomb down. Let's play our post plant scenario. And this is where I want to talk about Boston Breach's Search and Destroy, because everybody keeps saying like they're not really a good Search and Destroy team. Like they should be a lot better in that mode. But watching them yesterday in their series, in that map number 5 on Skyline, where they ended up falling short the way that they did versus Ultra, It's just the early round setups from Boston, in my opinion, because I'm sitting there watching, and it's a lot of individual players trying to make plays. Like Purge multiple times getting caught off guard. He had 4 first steps yesterday. You don't really want to start a search and destroy like that as a team. Like, you want to rely on teamwork, and then when you need to make those mid-round adjustments, when you start to catch some timings, depending on what people are seeing on the map, that's when you start hitting these individual routes because it can catch them off guard.
Yeah.
It's just you can't start off these SD maps trying to make individual hero plays.
And I think that is kind of the categorical way of talking about Boston, is they live and die by their first bloods. Whether they get them and then they win the round, or they lose them and they lose the round. It really doesn't feel like there's much of a level deeper than that. But outside of this matchup, got to keep in mind that this will be our final weekend of Major 2 qualifiers before we take a bit of a break and we up the stakes a touch. Minor 2 will be happening this upcoming weekend, next weekend. And this is where the tournament will stand. I'm actually kind of keeping my eye on Cloud9 versus Minnesota. Based on how both these two teams are playing, that should be an absolutely thrilling first round. Boston, on the other hand, will have to go up against a red-hot Surge team thanks to the introduction of Neptune to the roster. And of course, our top 4 teams are, for the most part, looking solid. Toronto maybe a little bit the shakiest of the 4 so far. Any other thoughts you've got about that bracket before we jump into map 2 here, Jay?
Hey, man, one of those green teams in that first matchup will get a W. That's all I want to say, Alan. All the green teams right now are tending to struggle a little bit. Someone's got to turn it around.
That's fair.
I know Reddit has already started to find ways to create panic.
Hey, Vegas got a map. Remember that, Alan? Vegas got a map.
I think we casted that, didn't we?
Yep, yeah, we did. LAT 4 underground, bottom skyline. Yep, I remember that.
Bang. All right, here we go. Let's see what we get for map number 2. Looking at the difference between map 2s and map 5s, Cloud9 have not been the iciest squad, to say it plainly. 1 and 5 in their map 5s. Them and LAG are near the bottom of the leaderboards when it comes to being able to clutch up in 5 map situations. But that is, again, a conversation we'll hold for another time, as Mac is already getting to work on the post plan here today.
You already have players, though, in towards bottom vault, ready to contest it, but Mac has to win a big one-on-one gunfight. Turns that one now into a 3v2. Cammy and Purge left to clutch on up.
Yeah, really like this post plant from Cloud9. Initially, it's just Mac inside the bomb site, but then a re-wrap back over through mid allows Kremp to help out. Nice shots from Cammy. Gives himself a chance to isolate a 1v1 down low. Pistol out for it, and the SMG just too strong. Cloud9 successful in their first post plant.
Yeah, biggest kill of the round without question is Mac's one-on-one. He's able to find one before dropping, but doesn't even end up dropping. He just allows that other teammate not to play for that trade because Mac wasn't weak. But then that basically secures the round, because if you allow that bomb site to get away from you and Boston's just bombard their way on in, you didn't really have a lot of angles to approach the defuse, just in case they were going to hop on it through pool. But Mac plants the bomb. Mac finds the kill. Mac secures the round.
Yep. Kremp was the player up top in Vault that was able to assist to make sure that trade didn't come through as well. So again, that little duality between the two working out nicely. Stun over the top to the balcony will hit. Information here for Cloud9 as they sprint through mid-map. Oh, and Cammy's got absolutely no idea. So now you've got an opportunity here to try to contest this post planet for Cloud9.
And Awakening does give up his positioning, but he also finds a kill, makes it a 3v3. But Mac knows we have the numbers in towards the site. Let me just fly on in. Now Awakening left in a 1v3. He's on it, though.
Yeah, and Awakening is not going to get here to touch this and check in time. Attach stepping in, making sure that the diffuser stays safe, and Cloud9 looking really solid here in the first 2 rounds. Love the idea on both the little passive offensive setup, followed up by this really aggressive push through mid on the defense.
Yeah, Tone sending around right there on the defensive side. I think both SMGs were able to catch the timing, though, on Awakening, who was over towards B Street, because he was sitting on the magic tree, looking through his mid lobby, but as soon as he turns right, they double push through and are able to find that first blood onto Cammy. Successful on the retake. Mac just flying in, finding a double. Allows Cloud9 to go up comfortably 2-0.
Yep.
As they go back on the attack.
Similar look here, except that Kremp is going to help out by playing aggressive through Vault stairs. Boston just kind of swarming in the upper hallways. Sib playing in an aggressive angle through palms. Attacks the first one to drop. Sib has to make use of this position, but just does not expect that they're the 3 branch members that are there. Kremp for 1. Mac trying to step away. Here comes the retake.
Oh, Mac's just going to give it up. He knows that he's going to
so
get bombarded.
good.
Simply outnumbered. I don't know if they fixed that hop-up, but Snoopy's just gonna stick it.
Oh, but cramp this route. No, not gonna quite get there in time. Tries to alert Mac that he's on for the defuse, but Purge gets the read, finds the pistol kill, and Boston are on the board.
You can see, like, that round right there for Cloud9, it worked out the way that they wanted to. You were able to pull a couple players from Boston on the defensive setup from that full side because they were able to spot Crimp as he dropped in through bottom ball. But then once they find that kill, Sib was going to be their safety net. Just a little trigger happy there for that first kill. Turns that corner, and all of a sudden there's 3 Boston players playing for you. And they just simply get outnumbered in the site. And they're able to put one on the board.
Yeah, just a lot for Sib to tackle through that backside palm. So Boston get away with their defensive setup. Now it's just down to can they find a response here on the attack. Purge untouched. And, oh, this is because Cloud9 wants to try to challenge this through the bottom side of vault. Snoopy working with him, though. Wins out on the trades. And Awakening trying to get a little bit of a 1v1 here. Going to be overwhelmed from behind, and now that's going to turn into a 2v2. A little bit delayed on this plant as well for Boston.
It's beautiful played right there from Cloud9 to isolate onto Awakening. And now they have the info. Okay, bomb goes down to there. They're most likely double stacking in towards the site. So you're running around as an army of 2 trying to retake your way through pool. They're getting a lot of info. Okay, no one's outside. They got to be in.
Yeah, they haven't seen Cammy yet, but I believe Sib may have just seen the butt of the rifle from Cammy. Attach, unfortunately, gets the shots in to take care of Sib, but on the transition, Attach clean with it, not allowing Cammy to reposition. And that'll turn into a 3rd round for Cloud9.
And it all starts with Sib flying in. Has that Jacko in hand. Is able to find that first kill before Attach puts bullets in the backside. But then in a one-on-one, Cammy knows that eventually I probably have to take this chow here. Don't want to get bad timing. But by the time he commits it, Attach is able to pepper him up with a couple bullets, have him a little bit weak, switch to the pistol for the hot swap. And close out the round there for Cloud9. A 2v3 clutch allows them a 2-round advantage.
Yep. See if Boston try to get this thing back into more level terms. Not going to go for the upper balcony play this time. Instead, it's going to be pretty much a 4-man stack here at mid. Cramp is the one watching up top. Mac has not tried to play in for a plant yet, and he's going to read that Boston will try to contest this the whole way through. And now you start to wonder, what does Cloud9 have cooked to try to find some sort of an adaptation to this?
Yeah, you can already see they're cooking up something on the overextension. They push their way through pool. Gonna try to trap them over towards B side, but look at the positioning from Sib. He can line up a couple.
Sure can. There's the first easily found. Doesn't expect the second initially, but Cloud9 still surround. Deal with every single member, and they already know where Awakening is. Bomb will start to be planted here at B, and Awakening, there's just no chance for this 1v4. Surely not.
Hell no. Yeah, not at that B site. You have to kill all 4 players and try to find an angle to think about this defuse, but time is already getting away from him. The setup too strong there for Cloud9, and that is such a beautiful round there from C9 because it all starts with the info that Attach is able to get through bottom mid. All he's doing is, okay, there's a lot of attacks being invested here. I at least saw 2 players, so they're probably going to get aggressive through mid map, probably drop down in the vault. Once he gives that calm, he backs down all the way to B Street, watches the overextension. Everyone else gets the info that, okay, they're probably going to be really aggressive in the A side. That's why you had Max sitting out towards pole. But then once they see, okay, there's 2 people inside, let's just push their base. And Sib is able to get behind enemy lines for that first blood. Everyone else just collapses. And Cloud9 starting to pull away now.
Yeah, looking really clean. 4-1 the count. Up and over, right back into the site. Both SMGs here for Boston. Trophy system to support them as they get to work on the plant. Quick play over towards pool, though, for the defense of Cloud9. They will take this position over. Trophy system also seen and deleted. A couple of toes tagged by Sib. Attach working with him at the crossfire, but he actually tried to commit on in. Mac trying to force the issue. He finds the first. Sib gets another. And now it's just down to where is Cammy. And he's playing poolside. Hopping for the defuse. No angle at it. Sib a couple of shots out. Cammy just trying to get the damage in, but the defuse is stuck the whole way, and Cloud9 are on 5.
Like, is Cammy ever going to get active? Like, on the pinch or anything? He knows that there's nonstop pressure over towards pool, but he just waits for all the action to go down eventually for him to wrap back and try to assist his teammates. It's just too bad there's no teammates to try to help out. The angle of the bomb plant allows C9 to just simply stick it, watch over. You had Sib making sure no one was dropping in towards vault. But then once you get the info, shoulder, stick to defuse, clean around right there from Cloud9 on the retake.
It just feels like Cloud9 are getting such an easy read on Boston overall right now. Quick onto the plant once again, go Cloud9. Pretty default on this setup for Boston, and they will not be able to challenge this anytime soon. Gonna triple stack together on the attempt to reclaim the balconies, but Attach is already through. Crimp trying to slip away. No one's going to expect that. Attach is playing from this position, though. He's going to find the first, has a chance to challenge the pool over here as well. Doesn't find the player behind him. So hold on. Boston have numbers, but Awakening just dealt with that range, and Attach actually slips away from the intended. Oh my! And takes care of Snoopy. Oh, mercy. Purge, last one left. 1v2, no way, no sir. 6-1 to search. Cloud9 smoking Boston.
Oh my God, like, I don't know what's going on so far with a couple of these middle of the pack teams so far in Major 2 qualifiers, but they have just found what they were looking for. Like the fact that C9 are making these adjustments the way that they did in Search and Destroy, because all I hear about when I talk about Cloud9 is, oh, if Kremp is dead, he's not. If Kremp is dead, you're not going to win Search and Destroys. That guy does everything for the team. But everyone played a part in that map right there. Attach had his moments. Obviously, Pops 3 in that final round. I don't know why Snoopy took such a long route to try to locate where Attach was, to where you allow Attach to not only find another kill onto your teammates, but then also take care of you as well. They just simply outclassed them on this map. They gained the info early on, completely countered them in certain aspects, but I think you hit it on the head, Alan. They just were ready for everything that Boston were going to have thrown at them. But now Cloud9 up 2-0 in a dominant fashion.
Wow. This has been electric from Cloud9. And, you know, we're starting to see not only what this means in terms of Civ being, you know, kind of more stable onto the roster, but this feels like the roster we would have expected from day number 1. And I think that leads to some very dangerous prospects as we continue into the minor and, of course, the rest of Major 2 qualifiers. But let's get the reactions from the desk, because this has been one-sided as hell.
You gotta win one, Boston. Before the minor, you gotta win one map. I don't think you're coming back in this series. I'm not ruling it out, but Cloud9 is looking hot. And if you are an Attach owner in fantasy,
feeling good.
stock is at an all-time high.
Yeah, he's doing it all. I mean, the guy had almost 3 minutes on that map. Number 1 goes off in the Search and Destroy, and that's a map that they desperately needed in Search and Destroy. Was this Vault 1 and 4 coming into it? We know that Cloud9 have been working on all areas of their game.
Yep.
And as Jay mentioned, like if it wasn't Kremp, then nobody was doing anything. Everybody's so active on this one. When the information comes in, they know where to pounce, and you see Mac just dominating this bottom vault. Purge getting caught when they need to catch him. Like, Boston's been a different team, guys.
Yeah.
Like, this Boston team just, the playmaking ability.
Slight decline.
It's declined a lot. I don't know if it's confidence or what it's been, especially in the Search and Destroy game mode. They just haven't been going toe-to-toe with teams recently in that game mode.
I mean, they're winning the first blood battle, and they're one of the best conversion teams in the game, and they just weren't able to do it during this series versus Cloud9. I thought it was going to come down to the opening duels. I mean, Cloud9, they're sitting at 8th at getting them, but if they do, they're first overall in converting, and that just wasn't the tail. It was just kind of the map control from the side. Cloud9 New York, even with a man down, I mean, their post plants were just insane.
Dirty Dill running, turning, burning. 8-3. Mac gets off to a 5-0 start, including some plants. Cloud9 is rolling up 2-0 on match point, leading into Control. If you look at Boston, they look a bit defeated in the cameras.
Yeah, I mean,
how are they in this game mode, though?
I mean, they're not good at Control, man. It's concerning. We're looking at another potential 3-0. Like, is this Friday all over again? What is going on? But yeah, for Cloud9, I mean, the league gets very interesting if this is the Cloud9 that we're going to see on a consistent basis, because they got a star-studded lineup. They start putting it together strategically, they're going to be a problem.
Allie, you said Purge was going to drop the most kills in game 1. He had about 13 towards the end of that game. Is that the conclusion you're drawing today?
It is not the conclusion I am drawing, but I am going to draw literally the break-off of this first hardpoint is the cleanest Hacienda break-off I have ever seen, and also set them up for so much success for the rest of this map. So let's hop right into it. We're going to open up this mini-map, and what works out so well here for Cloud9 is just the fact that they accidentally completely counter Boston here. So Cloud9, this is the absolute opening break. They're going to send everybody towards this right side of hallways. Boston Breach is going to mirror them on the other side. The difference here is that somebody instantly hops into the hill from the Cloud9 right here and gets a nade up into this top window. What does that do? It weakens all 3 of the Boston Breach players and allows the ARs on the top side of these hallways to get some of these kills. So I'm going to let this roll for just a second because this is picture perfect. So it's going to be Mac. He gets in the hill, he gets some damage in the top 3 players, wins that opening blood, which allows his teammates not only the information of all of them being there, but to shut down and get a full 4 dead in the opening seconds of this hard point. And that's not it. They go on to do it a second time. So now we're going to stop again. Everybody's down inside of Boston Breach. Obviously, we're talking about professionals here. They understand how these spawns are going to work. Boston Breach is going to spawn out towards fences. Number 3, already set up for these kills. And number 1 is going to play this backup in case anybody spawns back here to try and hit what will be a pinch onto this P1. And they get a second wipe for the side of Cloud9. And not only does Cloud9 get 40 seconds off of this opening P1, they then use their map pressure to push into the side of Lambo and win not only the second rotation, but the 3rd one over to fences as well. And with momentum like that, you're bound to win a hard point.
Cloud9 with the positional advantage in a number of those gunfights as well. They used the headies pretty effectively.
Yeah, he's pretty good. And Sip popped off that map, man. I mean, he's been saying, like, if as long as Attach plays in the hill, I'm going to fry. And that's exactly what he did. And I vividly remember being in the green room, me and Jay standing up like, Attach, you have 9 seconds in the hill, brother. You got to be in it. And if you know he's in the hill, you know he's not simply playing for kills. Everybody else can do their thing. It is simple at the end of the day.
Hacienda, you're 4-9 across all control maps, 30% win rate. I think we're going to a game 4. Boston, let's get weird.
4-9? You think they're going to a game 4? I don't know.
It could happen.
I don't know. It's feeling
Bad odds. I'm feeling it though, Al. Double down.
Do not take this guy.
You're allowed to feel whatever you want to feel, Chris, and I don't mean that with any sort of pause. That's a pause right there. I got Jay weak there. What are we talking about? Jay, Hacienda Control. Let's get into that conversation before I get myself fired.
Yeah, Hacienda Control, it should be a fun one, brother, because on one side, obviously, neither one of these squads really like to play it a lot. If you are C9, you have to start to add this to the map pool because of how bad you guys are at Vault. You're not going to get protocol every series. The good thing is you do have a couple reps on it. And the biggest thing that I look at with them on their Hacienda Control is the fact that they have a lot of objective focus. On the opposite side for Boston, they get outslayed on both the offenses and the defenses, and they don't really average a lot of segments to their name. So they're not giving themselves a lot of time to even work some of these plays. So they just probably are going to have to figure it out. It has to start with the killer.
Yeah, I think that is part of it. Is we just need to see some signs of life right now because Boston's getting absolutely smoked. I just have not been able to do anything. Like we talked about, kind of behind the 8 ball throughout the entirety of the Hacienda Hardpoint, and then never really holding a candle what Cloud9 was throwing at him in the Search and Destroy. So here we go. Boston starting off on offense. This would be a prime opportunity in time to just get the guns hot and just start finding some momentum.
You already see the approach for Boston. You want to attack over towards Seeker. You want to try to be the aggressor. Start off initially over towards B, but Sid lines up a double frag. Sid lines up a 3-piece, and that's a clean 4 dead, all map control, and now you're trapped.
I mean, that's just one of those kind of day one things here when it comes to Hacienda Control. We know for a fact that the battle is going to ensue topside fire, and it's just a couple of pre-fire shots and then a nade just lands right in your back pocket. And Cloud9 are already packing the pain onto Boston. And, well, there's an exit starting to come through the middle of the map here. Attach is mostly focused on what's happening over towards the B point. He's being a little bit challenged from 2 sides at once. So there we go, 3 for 1. And Boston will have an opportunity to stop the clock at B.
Oh, but Sid finding that kill makes the rest of the Boston players who are on that B point have to focus him. Awakening is 1 shot. Snoopy able to finish that kill on the Sid. This should allow his teammates now off the respawn to retake with ease before that first segment gets complete. Only 28 seconds to go, still in round number 1. And Boston have decided to just hop A to pause game clock.
Yeah, have to have it. Sid looking to try to open something up in the corner. Long range shots to Awakening. Those are feisty. Cramped to 1, able to benefit though for 3 in a row. Clock will continue to tick, and he knows he's got Awakening on the other side of the hallway, but the AR too strong at that range. Mac trying to follow up, stopping the pinch from happening. Now a little dance with Snoopy, and the overwhelming pressure of Cloud9 continues to just steamroll the Boston breach. Down to 10 seconds, Boston stuck in spawn.
Yep, you have no chance in this round. You cannot come off the respawn with only 7 seconds left and think you can pause the game clock. You have just been steamrolled here in round number 1, and Cloud9 are just continuing their hot streak so far in this series. Only allow 1 segment to get away from them, and that could be pretty easy to make up for on a map like Haci.
It's just, Boston don't look ready for this matchup right now.
Hell no.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just like no one's really hanging with the tempo, the speed, and just the overall precision that we're getting from Cloud9. Where on the other front, all 4 players are smoking. As we take a look at the other side of this break-off, again, you know this battle over towards... whoa, okay. Oh, we're running into the nades. That's unfortunate. Okay, I was about to say, the other side of this break-off, and it just, everyone gets stuck in that hallway, Jay. It's just, New York have such good manipulation of the space.
Yeah, it's just tough, and you know, the biggest thing about Control is your initial break-offs. If you go 4 dead off the rip, then you're gonna waste a lot of time just simply working out of your base. You cannot afford that to continue to happen, but now it's Cloud9's opportunity to have an offense of their own. Boston able to find 3, but Kurt with signs of 1 to maintain a little bit of this map control that he has.
Yeah, Awakening playing over towards Rock side. You're going to have Purge up top where Kremp is located. Cloud9 will very patiently make their way in towards Secret Hall. As Kremp found a route here, sure looks to have catches Cammy by surprise, and now he could just jump into the V-zone, put a pause on the clock, and look at the quick spawn from Well here. Cloud9, all eyes towards B.
Everybody walk towards the backside of Plat. You already have players in a position to contest it in Civ. He's able to find 1. Kremp flies on into 10, finds another. So you have the 3v2 numbers advantage. Just got to locate where the hell the rest of everybody is from Boston. At least you know now. Awakening last player towards top. Plat, the team shot's good enough. Second segment locked.
And you got a pinch on the way from Kremp. Yep, he'll find 1 up top. Not going to be able to get into the mix for the second initially, but then just comes right back into the fight as soon as he's called upon. Last 1v1 for the B zone. Purge dealt with this Sib. Oh my, 12 and 4. Now off the reload. Gonna find kill number 3 in a row. And you've already got Cloud9 on AJ. I mean, oh, mercy me. Cloud9 showing no respect to Boston.
Yeah, this is getting nasty, man. Boston need to be able to stop the bleeding. The only one that can do something about it is going to be Snoopy. He gets taken care of. That's already a 3 dead, a double stack, making a triple stack on the 8 point. Second segment locked. There's no way in hell C9 lose this round.
Awakening gets the first chance to maybe contest from Snoopy, but no, not gonna happen. And Kremp roars in the player cabs. Cloud9, I mean, wow. Is this one of those things you look at how they've played in the first 2 weeks of qualifiers and say that this team's looking like a contender all of a sudden?
Yes, without question, with the way that they're playing. We're talking about they were struggling in their hard points because they couldn't find a consistent way to win. Now they realize, okay, we need to put a lot more focus on our objective play. They win the first map by 100. The adjustments on the Vault Search and Destroy, which is a 1 and 4 map on the season for them, they basically played that one perfect. Now you get to a Control where you need to be able to add this one to the map pool, and you are just beating the living hell out of Boston Breach every opportunity you get a chance to. This is the Cloud9 we were expecting in the beginning of the season. Obviously, they go through a rough patch. You got people talking about players potentially getting dropped, but I'm happy that they stuck with this roster because these results are insane.
Yeah, they figured it out without question. Makes you kind of wonder how good is this Vancouver team if they were able to somehow beat this Cloud9 squad. I think they're pretty darn good, tell you that much. Boston fighting for their lives out of spawn here in round number 3. And it just feels over, Jay. I just don't know how else to say it. This just feels like Boston are just already out of the map.
Yeah, how about we just slow the game down? Let's start to go for a team push here because they keep on getting isolated in this gunfight. You're consistently having to turn around because all the map control is still in favor of Cloud9. And they are just making your life a living hell off the respawn. Finally a trade on to Mac, but here comes Sib. He finds another one. Still, you have players from Cloud9 in aggressive angles to simply not let you out your base for free.
Yep. Stun will land onto Kremp on 6 in a row. Purge, the one feeling like he wants to try to test this as there's a team kill and an elimination from Attach, and that's just the game right there, brother. Snoopy, the last one alive, has slipped through on the other side of A. Maybe a chance for him to come behind the play and open up space for his squad mates, but I mean, it's 25 plus 16 and Kremp's on 9, beaming him across the map. Yep, how about a quick Sunday for you, friends? Unbelievable. Crep for double digits, and yeah, send him home.
We need to have an option, Alan, for like white flags in series, because some of these teams definitely could have used it today, because Cloud9 just took care of business. A dominant 3-0. Yeah, Sim, talk that talk, because you've been able to walk that walk as of recent, man. They have just found what they were looking for when this team first was going to be formed. And now they're just completely running away with it, man. C9, what a series.
I mean, Jay, we're at a point here, and I think after this weekend, mixed with the results that we've had across the rest of the matches, both this weekend and prior, I mean, I think we've got a pretty clear-cut top 5 coming into this minor. You've got LA, you've got Atlanta, of course. I think you throw Minnesota, Vancouver. And Cloud9 into your top 5. I mean, Carolina had a fantastic finish to this weekend as well, so like they're still up there as a top 4 seed, but I mean, talk about just a complete mix-up based on how the minor was seeded in the first place. I mean, legitimately, I'm looking at Vancouver, Minnesota, and Cloud9. All 3 of those teams looking like they could for sure kind of pull off the same story that like Carolina did